Hi folks, well here it is, new bike reveal. This is my new to me 2022 Street Glide ST. Just got her all waxed up, looking nice and pretty. The weather's looking a little dodgy today, so hopefully it don't get rained on. But yeah, this will be my very first ride on it. And I have already started mods. We've got the quad lock phone mount, and I put these highway pegs on. So I found this bike lightly used after about 9 months of looking. It only has 1,100 miles on it. It just had the break-in service performed by a Harley dealership. The only mod it had on it were Reinhardt slip-ons, which sound really nice. See how this thing handles the speed bump. Not like the old GS, but not bad. Definitely gonna have to get used to having turn signals on different sides. Man, it sounds good. Okay, let's see if this radio is audible. Seems to be idling a little strangely. EITMS is disabled. So far, I love it. It's a bagger. That exhaust note is music to my ears. Well, what can I talk about for first impressions? I mean, I'd ridden one of these before, and I kind of already did a video on that. I'm very comfortable. I really don't feel any wind buffeting. Well, my quad lock seems to be holding up fine. I'm gonna have to leave this cracked. I'm too hot. It's like 60 degrees and I'm still hot. This fairing works really well. Quad lock mount seems to be working. It's not the ideal location, but this is temporary. I already have some different bars coming. No, you don't. Man, this thing rides nice. So this is my first Harley-Davidson. I was never a Harley hater or anything. They were just never really on my radar. I had sport bikes when I was younger, and I grew up riding dirt bikes. So dual sport and adventure bikes have kind of been my jam. And I had actually ridden, my dad had a Dyna that he built out a long time ago, and he did let me ride it. I don't really remember it though. So I didn't really have a Harley in my mind or really know what it was like until 9 months ago. My neighbor was doing some work for me, and we were talking about bikes, and he insisted that I take his out for a test ride, and I was like, no man, I can't ride your bike. I always feel a little uncomfortable riding someone else's motorcycle. He's like, no, you're riding it. And he went home around the corner and he came back with his bike. I was like, oh shit, here we go. It was a 2007 Heritage Deluxe. I took it for a short test ride, about 20 minutes, and I fell in love. Just everything about it I enjoyed. The sound, the feel, the riding position. I was just absolutely enamored. And ever since then, I've wanted to get one. It took me about 9 months to finally figure out a deal and situation that worked for me, but here I am. Gotta say, I didn't have the best experience trying to purchase from a dealer. I ended up buying this bike private party. Cost me anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 less than it would have from a dealer, depending on which quote you get. And I am super stoked. Man, it sounds good. Well, let's try out one of my first mods, which was these highway pegs. I got these off Amazon. I did fuck up the angle a little bit. Damn it. Yeah, what can I say? They work. They're about 40 bucks. Harley branded ones were like 250 bucks or something absurd. Like everything Harley branded. These felt nice and sturdy. I don't see any issue with them. And yeah, they're highway pegs. What else can I say? They look good and they work. So first impressions are, I love it. I knew what it was before I bought it, and I am not disappointed in any way. Well, I definitely get some buffeting at higher speeds here. Whereas if I tuck down just slightly, basically none, so yeah, taller windscreen's probably in order. I always slow down through here. There's a lot of deer down on this gully. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of hear the stereo, but it sounds like shit. Speaker upgrade will definitely be in order.
Ready, Rockwood 06X Aftershock brought from Godsmack.
Alright, well, I'm almost at my parents' house. I will be back after a short visit with them. Hey folks, I'm back. The weather's not looking any friendlier than it had been. Just turn that off while I'm talking. And I am going to take the long way home. Take this thing on some twisty, bumpy back roads on the stock suspension and see how it does. And hope I don't get rained on. Alright, we're getting to the twisty bits. Gosh, it sounds so good. Alright, this is one of my perfect test roads. This is the end of Gas Point Road here, going out towards Igo Ono. It is a twisty, windy, bumpy road. Very good test for how any motorcycle handles and performs. Anyone looking for a trailer? Probably comes with a free meth lab. Some graduated cylinders. Bunsen burner. A little gravel there. Not ideal. Now I always hear people talk about how horrible the stock suspension is. Honestly, it doesn't feel that bad to me. So if upgraded suspension feels much better, man, I can't wait for that, because just my opinion. Again, this is a bumpy, windy backcountry road, and it's really not bad, in my opinion, for what this bike is. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how good it feels. I mean, there I felt a little bit of a bump, but again, for a stock suspension on a big touring bike, Everyone says any kind of upgraded suspension is a night and day difference, so that's going to be a real treat then, because like I'm going to change it immediately anyway, because that's just the kind of thing I do, but this first ride isn't making me feel like, oh god, I have to change this immediately. I'm going to, again, just because that's kind of what I do. I like to mod bikes, but I'm pleasantly surprised by the stock suspension. And I think there's other things that factor into comfort, like the seat, the bar position, the way the frame handles hits and flex and all that stuff that goes well beyond my understanding. I'm not a mechanical or any sort of engineer, but she feels good. I'm honestly surprised at how it feels. I figured it was going to kind of suck on this road, and it doesn't suck. No, it doesn't handle like a sport bike or like my GS, but I didn't expect that. And I'm certainly not getting on it hard, especially with wet pavement on my first ride on it, but I've yet to scrape anything. But yeah, oh gosh, I really expected this road to kind of suck on this bike, and it doesn't. Oh, it sounds so good. Oh, I love it. I'm so comfortable. I haven't got any of the back pain or hip pain or any of the weird stuff I usually do from sitting upright. I mean, granted, it's not a long ride, but I'm usually feeling it pretty quickly in my lower back on most upright type street bikes. And I feel great. Were it not for the weather today, I'd be going on a real long ride. Gosh, that just kind of blew me away how this handled on that road. Really, really pleased with that. That surprised me. I was not expecting that from this bike. Stock. I feel good. I knew that I would. Gosh, I love having my feet out in front though. It's just so much more comfortable. This is just so much more natural to the way I normally sit. A little bit of rain. Hope it doesn't screw up my wax job. I just got done waxing this thing. First time I've ever waxed a vehicle, at least my own vehicle. If I end up with a bunch of water spots on it, I'm going to be pissed off. Well, first impressions, I love it. Yep, Mikey likes it. I like all motorcycles though, so don't read too much into that. But yeah, this is exactly the experience I want to have right now, and so far I am not disappointed. Gonna be cruising here for a bit. Engage cruiser mode. Brakes feel plenty good. I got no complaints for the brakes. Alright folks, well there you have it, my first ride, first impressions. Looking forward to doing a number of mods on here. Those will be coming soon, and just getting out and riding. Hopefully I get some rides in before it gets too damn hot.